we are going into proactive training to record an interview for Piatto Live with founder, trainer, Emerson Petri. Let's do it.
Come on in. Come on in.
Emerson,
Hey,
thanks for joining me, man.
it's my pleasure, John.
I really appreciate you taking the time. I came in touch with you via one of our mutual friends, Nate.
That's right.
And
That
so-
Nate Lesnick.
Right. And so part of this initiative that we're doing, this Piatto Live, as we're calling it, is, we operate in a lot of different jurisdictions and places in Eastern Canada. And one of the things we recognize when we open up a restaurant and operate a restaurant is we come in touch with so many interesting people, and we gain access to so many interesting communities.
Sure.
And so one of the things, the idea, the motivation behind this show was, why not, we see so many great people, why not highlight them a bit, get their story out there, help promote what they're doing, their business, organization, whatever. And so that's the motivation behind this show.
Great.
And that's why I wanted to speak with you today. So thank you.
Hey, my pleasure.
I think the best place to start is, I'm a complete fitness and health freak, so I know we're going to jam on a couple different subjects that we have mutual interest in.
Yeah.
But for people that aren't familiar with you yet, or people that don't know you, I know a lot of people in this community probably do. Why don't you just give me the quick rundown of who you are and why this business that you're involved in?
Sure. So my name is Emerson Petri. I'm the owner and operator of Proactive Training. We're a functional-based fitness community based out of Cambridge, Ontario. I first started Proactive Training about 9 years ago now. Back then it started off very simply running classes out of the back of my mom's van at the time, trying to peer pressure all my friends and family to join me at a local park where I was running outdoor group training classes. And over the last 9 years, it's really morphed into so much more than just running classes out of the back of my mom's van. It's become quite an amazing community that we've built up here. We've got full-time trainers that really commit their time and energy into the space, which really reflects on the success that our members see here. I love what I do. I love coaching people. I love being a part of people's transformations, their journeys. Showing them that fitness can be fun is really what Proactive excels at. Proactive is definitely one of the most fun places you can work out.
Right. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of your videos on YouTube, and it looks like, one, a great workout, and it also looks like fun. But when you're saying that, it reminds me, so I spent the last 10 years living in Shanghai in China, most of it. And we had an outdoor fitness group there, and it's something that emerged very organically.
Yeah.
And it became into this huge phenomenon.
Sure.
Because in a city like that, any city really, you can go through your daily routine and working, and you go to work, and maybe you go to the gym, and reluctantly, and then you
Yeah.
come home and you have a beer and you eat dinner and then you wake up and you do it all again.
Exactly.
And the monotony of life without that much genuine social interaction or positive interaction can be challenging. I think a lot of people suffer
You
from
can
that.
really feel like you're alone in your fitness journey. And
Right, and then you more time to ruminate, and then if your health isn't, so we all grapple with this sort of dynamic in
absolutely.
life. And what I thought was so interesting was, not only we would get up at 6 a.m. for our outdoor workouts in Shanghai.
Wonderful.
And so we'd wake up and we'd have this great work, all levels, people that are just starting, people that are great athletes, everything in between.
Sure.
And it would all be community led, so someone would volunteer, they would have to go through a little bit of a training to be up to speed.
Great.
And afterwards would be this big sweaty picture, everyone's doing something goofy. And then, once a quarter we'd do a social event. And it was just amazing to me. The thing that always, I thought was so cool was, one, we're all just there having a great workout so that we can start our day on the right foot and go into work, whatever we do, and just have that energy and have the positivity.
It sets you up for success for the day.
100%. And then off the back of that, all the relationships that you create there are so much I don't want to say better, but they're richer than a lot that you
Maybe more meaningful.
Right, because one, you have that mutual, like, we all get out of bed when we don't want to get out of bed. We all make it to the field when it's cold or it's rainy or whatever.
For sure.
We give it our best.
Yeah.
And that is such a strong connection that when we have the social events, it's like literally like one big family. And I imagine you've cultivated a similar sort of vibe around here.
Without a doubt. I mean, your vibe attracts your tribe. It's really, really the truth, right? The energy that you put out into space is what you're going to attract back to you. So I've always been big on positivity. And like you've mentioned, the group that you were a part of accepted all different athletic capabilities. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner and you're just starting out, you should be accepted and encouraged. And the workout can be modified based on your own athletic capability. So we're big on that. And I think it's just a sense of creating meaningful relationships goes a long way with any business, right? You want to have some genuine attitudes, a part of your groups, and really put forth meaningful sessions and really putting love on your members and setting your expectations for them. It goes a long way.
Yeah, it's wild how strong the bonds in that group were, and it sounds like here too.
Yeah,
because
without a
it's
doubt.
no longer just transactional. I mean, for one, that was a completely voluntary thing, so that adds another dynamic to it.
Yeah.
But what made you 9 years ago, right? You're out of your mom's van.
Yeah.
What was the impetus? What was the motivation, to start doing those outdoor workouts? Like,
My fitness journey has really started from quite a young age, being a part of many different sports teams. And I've had so many really good coaches and quite a few maybe not so good coaches.
Right.
Patterns really began to show from a young age what made a really good coach and what made a not so good coach. Some of the few things that I noticed throughout the years were coaches that were actually involved with the team, so wanting to participate in fitness training with us to show us that they care about their own health and fitness, and that's why we should as well. Really practicing what you preach.
Yeah.
And so I took a lot of information and knowledge throughout the years, being a part of many different sports teams, that I really wanted to give the general population the opportunity to have a great coaching experience that goes above and beyond any kind of service that a commercial gym could offer. I wanted to offer something completely different. So in my mind, I thought it's got to be outdoor, it's got to be group fitness, it's got to be very different in the sense that the type of training that we're doing, it's total body, it's for the mind, body, and soul. People that attend should want to be there. I just wanted to create something different. And I thought, I got to give this a go. I got to just try. Why not?
So how'd you get the word out originally?
Very basic marketing, creating little 8.5 by 11 posters I'd post around town, texting and harassing friends and family to meet me at a local park and come and work out with me, you guys. It's going to be a blast.
Right.
Just to spark people's interest, and then making it really nonchalant. It's just drop in, pay $5, come drop in and be a part of it, kind of thing.
So why the outdoor specifically? Because I'm a huge, like, if I can work out outdoors, that's what I choose. Jay behind the camera here, her and my dad go to the gym a lot. And they go to Good Life sometimes when we're at home, and I find it kind of boring. Nothing against any gym that's operating here, but my main objection is like, I want to be outside. I want that fresh air.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, what was your reasoning for wanting to do these workouts outside versus like going to a local like YMCA or gym? And having
exactly.
That kind of stuff there?
A few different reasons. It's the accessibility of it, right? So the park was really central to a lot of. It's in a residential area, so it's very accessible for somebody to walk to their local park, to be a part of a fitness program without having to get ready, get in a car, make a big drive, and make a big event out of it. I wanted to just make it a lot more accessible.
Right.
I find that some of the best workouts that we've ever done at Proactive have been outside, and we still continue to do outdoor group fitness programs, regardless now that we own an indoor space.
Right.
So from May until September, we offer 3 days a week outdoor group training sessions at Dixon Park, and it attracts a tremendous amount of people. You get a more rugged feel being outside. You're in the elements. It's really the truest raw form of physical exercise. You're using your entire body to move, and that's really what we've been designed to do. We need to walk, we need to run, jump, everything. We got to use our bodies, right?
Yeah.
And being outside allows us to move ourselves in such completely different ways than just sitting on gym equipment at a local commercial gym and really not utilizing the muscle groups that we're designed to use.
Right. I love that. And obviously, like in a gym like this, you've got so much functional stuff here that you are allowed, like you're not necessarily have to conform to certain movements like in the machines you just mentioned, right?
Sure.
There's lots of cool stuff here. But as you were talking, like being outside, there aren't machines that say your body has to conform to this movement or structure. So like, how do you feel like expressing your body in this sort of capacity there? And I think that's why when you work outside, you get kind of like a primal sense too, right? You just feels, I don't know, it feels like it's right. You know, and
Absolutely.
It can feel great in here too. But usually when you're in gyms, particularly gyms that are far more rigid in terms of the equipment they offer, then they're basically telling you, put your body in this position.
That's right.
Put your body in that position. And
That's
you don't have any creativity, you don't have any freedom, you don't have any, all that kind of stuff.
Big time, big time.
So that being said, when you got the physical location inside, how did you determine what types of movements you wanted to permit via the equipment and the structure that you have here?
Great question, John. So like I've already mentioned, proactive training is functional-based group fitness. So our sessions are designed on a week-by-week basis. None of our workouts are ever the same. They're ever changing. We never want to have our members show up knowing, oh, we got to do that workout again, the circuit that we did yesterday.
Right.
That's a redundant feeling, right? And it becomes so repetitive, and that's why people fall out of love with fitness, because it's repetitive. 100%. It's the same old crap over and over. So we really want to make our workouts different. So we've really reverse engineered what fitness should look and feel like. We give absolute demonstrations for all of our workouts. We want to make sure that all of our members are maintaining proper form first and foremost, and that we're catering to our most beginner members. So in terms of the workout selection here, we want to make sure, again, it's accessible for everybody, that we can make modifications or regressions of a certain movement so that everybody can feel confident and comfortable performing it. And we want to make sure that it's there's a lot of spatial awareness happening here, right? Obviously, we don't have the most massive space, so we cater to individual. Really, our groups are between 20 and 30 members at one time. And our exercise selection, like I said, we have thousands of exercises that we complete here that all complement the human body to be moving more effectively and efficiently, and to hopefully make their life better. They should feel stronger, more mobile, right? When they go on vacation and they're faced with 1,000 stairs, it shouldn't be a problem, right? There's certain things that happen in life, especially when you start traveling and going outdoors. You're faced with certain challenges, and we're trying to really show members that our workouts are designed to make those challenges less of an obstacle in your life.
Right, and that makes me think of another point, which I have to imagine was probably a big part of why you persisted in this career path, but you tell me what you think. But one of the things that I noticed being in that group I mentioned before was, I mean, even in a short period of time, but certainly over the course of 1 or 2 years, you get to see such transformation in certain people. Now, some people show up on your doorstep and they just want to get worked out, and they've always been that way, right? And it's their way to get their mind right and feel good about themselves and have the beer and pizza and not feel guilty. But a lot of people, I imagine, come in and they're early in their journey, and you take them in day 1, week 1, month 1, year 2, and you must see a pretty dramatic transformation. And it's such a powerful thing, because what happens here in that transformation obviously permeates into so many different areas of their life, their relationships, their career, their ambitions for themselves, their self-confidence, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
What's it been like for you to see that, I presume, in many different people over the course of 9 years?
It's been an exceptional experience. It's really why some of the best fitness coaches do what they do. They're hungry and driven to make an impact on their crew, on their members, on their clients, whatever you want to call whoever's a part of your group. You want to impact them around every corner. And when you see firsthand the impact you're having on such things that you've mentioned, on their relationships, Emerson, I haven't had a better relationship with my husband. Things are going really well. I feel like our communication's getting better. And why? It's all because you're releasing stress here. You're becoming more confident in yourself. There's so many things that happen. And I think, John, for the most part, the biggest transformations really are complete mindset. It's a complete mindset change that happens with our members, right? They come in, they're shy, they're timid, they don't know what to expect. They have certain expectations of themselves that are completely false.
Yeah.
And then once they come into a space that is all accepting and true and honest and authentic, they really become themselves. And when an individual can be themselves truly is when body fat loss starts to happen. It's when they buy into the program knowing that it's not a sprint, it's not even a marathon, there's no finish line. It is a forever journey that they will always be on, right? And there'll be different stages of the journey, but for us, that's the biggest thing. It's just so exciting for us to be able to impact our members, and our coaches are in it for all the right reasons. You can really tell being a part of any session here, our coaches don't just come in, let's do a workout and leave. Like, we're invested in every aspect of one's journey. And it makes us feel incredible. We're very proud to be a part of everybody's journey, no matter what point they're at.
Yeah. I'm getting hyped up just listening to you, man. 'Cause I know what that feeling is like, right? Even for myself, and not to diminish like the real problems that a lot of people encounter. But when people talk to me about whether it's sleeping issues or dealing with like depression or depressive thoughts or this kind of stuff, I'm not trying to be trite, but one of the first things I always say is like, did you work your did you wake up early and have like a killer workout? It's not a cure-all, but damn, like if you can, like you said, release that stress, get the endorphins pumping, pump out the lungs, pump out the blood, get some sweat going.
That's right.
Be in like in an environment where there's camaraderie and there's competition and there's support and all that kind of stuff. You're setting yourself up, you're not going to solve all your problems, but it's a damn fine first step.
Without a doubt, John. I couldn't agree more. I mean, not everybody's dealt the same cards in their life. It's so hard to get on certain individuals' levels that you really don't understand.
Sure.
We certainly have a large population that we're aware of that have anxiety, depression, certain mental illnesses, if you will. And without a doubt, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be improved.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on board, and this is what we preach to our members, right? You really got to put time and energy into yourself, right? Your brain is a muscle that needs to be exercised.
Totally. And it snowballs, right? Like if you wake up and you join a group like this, you start working out, you commit to that schedule, you commit to showing up regardless of how you feel.
Exactly.
You're probably going to start tweaking other things as you go along. Like, maybe I should clean up my diet too. I don't want to be first, I want to fuel myself first of all, but I don't want to undo all the work I'm doing in here. So maybe I'll tighten up the diet. Maybe I'll dial down the alcohol or whatever.
Absolutely. Make those small little micro changes along the way that reflect on a more positive life. And then like you've mentioned prior about team builders, we've had a lot of members quite shy when they first sign up. And then they come out to one of our proactive team builders. Maybe we're rock climbing. Maybe we're going to go run a 5-kilometer obstacle race. We do a Rugged Maniac every year.
Yeah.
There's things that we do every single year that people look forward to because they know it's a positive experience. It sets them up for success. And when an individual that struggles with anxiety and depression conquers such feats, even just going rock climbing, they've never done it before. And when they come and see that it's not that bad, and they can try their best at it and have some success with it, they feel so much better. They gain confidence. It's what it's all about in life.
100%, man. And just the very last point on that particular topic, but in the group that I was a part of, one of the things that like would give me so much joy would be someone would show up, clearly never done any fitness, can't do a burpee, not coordinated enough, just at that level. And 6 months later, they're leading a group of also relatively new people, and you just stand back and you're like, and the confidence is pouring out of them, right? They came, they were shy, they were uncertain, all the things that you feel when it's not your wheelhouse.
Program to actually lead the class.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow.
I presume you're very obviously dialed into the fitness and health world, and it's a very extensive and large
It really is. It's growing every day.
What's most interesting, if not one, maybe 2 or 3 things in the fitness / health and diet world that you're either integrating into the training as you develop and evolve your protocols here, or just yourself intellectually curious about?
We're finding the biggest things that we're maybe struggling with right now is combating all of the myths surrounding fitness, wellness, health,
give me a couple
diet
that you push against a lot.
We certainly are, hesitant to buy into certain detoxes and creams, essential oils, things that are, what are those words called? Those are big publicity words, right? You hear them, they're fad words, basically, right? You hear detox and it's interesting.
Marketed as cure-alls and stuff
absolutely, like that. Absolutely. And so we like to take a more holistic approach to nutrition especially. We're big believers in whole foods that benefit the human body with what your goals are. And that's different for everybody. Somebody as simple as adding in an extra, smoothie or a large salad a day, that can really benefit the individual. So we're finding when people get too much information and bad information, that's right now one of the biggest topics that we're dealing with is just combating all the false information that is coming through different media channels especially, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm finding really interesting is when people come to class, and I love that they have questions. It's better that they ask and talk about it than just doing whatever they saw online.
Yeah.
Right? But we certainly want to have more open conversations on these topics to ensure that members are not being led down the wrong path for the wrong reasons. Right? So that's really one of the biggest things right now that we're finding. I think for fitness to be continuously positive, it's got to evolve, right, John? It's got to, things need to come into fruition. We need to understand, what are the best ways to train the body. Everybody's muscular skeletal systems are different. So not everybody should be trained the exact same way. Sure. So for us to take a more holistic approach and to treat each individual like an individual, I think that goes a long way too. Yeah. We're finding a lot of cookie cutter fitness programs. Everybody do this. This is the best thing.
Right.
Everybody needs to do this. And that's really not true. And that's just getting back to how many false information there is out there, right?
I think, the age we're in today where information is ubiquitous and it's at your fingertips literally at all times. Of course, people are going to have access to and be bombarded with just a ton of information. Yeah. But one of the trends that I like to see, and you just, made reference to there is, yes, that things are more catered to the individual rather than to a broader group, which is probably why businesses like this are able to find a market.
Big time.
But the other thing I like, which is an extension of that, is that people are beginning to wonder if they can or even do trust themselves, right? Like instead of, because we all look at, because we're all uncertain about so many things.
Yep.
So we say, okay, what should I do for my diet? I read all this, that one sounds the best. What should I do for my fitness? I read all this, I do that. What should I do for this and that and this and
Absolutely.
that? But bringing it back down to a level where you're starting to be able to interpret how you feel about different things.
Sure.
And so then you can construct a way of approaching all this that's not only sustainable for yourself, but is most appropriate for yourself. Now, it takes a while to be able to trust yourself in certain things.
It really does.
Experience helps, improve that over time.
Absolutely. We definitely want our members to be able to think for themselves and to be able to digest certain information and say, hey, is that reasonable information that you're taking in? Can it be applied to your life?
Right. Does that feel good from my body?
Absolutely. Yeah. And if it's maintainable, right? We're so against fad diets. We've seen so many members maybe go on a fad diet and come off the fad diet and really then struggle with body self-image, right? Because they've saw such great results in a little amount of time. And then they reverse, right, when they come back. Right? Their body's not used to that maybe influx of calories when they come back from a fad diet.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it's so great that people like yourself actually take the risk to pursue a passion and a dream and construct something like this, because you're proof, you're a living example that this is a lifestyle
Without
You know,
a
you
doubt.
wake up every day and you do your morning workout, or you show up here after work, or whatever
Sure.
your schedule is.
Yeah.
Because it's what sets you up to be happy, healthy, successful, confident, all the rest of it.
100%.
Not because it's January and you ate a little bit too much at Christmas. You know?
Exactly.
Like I like what's forming, and that people are starting to see it in different ways and saying, this is about lifestyle, and that also enhances how much they engage with the tribe that's here, right? Because you're like, oh, everybody else is here to support each other and to construct a lifestyle.
They're here for the
themselves.
right reasons.
Right.
You know,
Right.
when a member signs up, generally speaking, John, they're staying for over a year. Our retention rates are through the roof, and that's mainly because we actually care about our clients. Right, and their needs.
What a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like, we want our members to actually attend their sessions, right? We want to give them the tools and the knowledge to make better decisions on their own free will. And I mean, another thing that we do is we run seminars every month. It could be anything from mobility to nutrition, to just better lifting practices while a part of classes. Everything we do is to try our very best to set members up for success. And again, I keep talking about success, but success means something very different to everybody. So it's important for individuals to have a very their own standards of what success means to them.
100%. And so, speaking of success, we'll change it up a little bit now before we finish. But obviously, you're an entrepreneur. This is a business.
Yes, sir.
Also.
Yeah.
What's that experience been like, from going from back of the van to operating a business? Some of the things that were most challenging, some of the things that were most surprising. Shed some light on that for me.
Man, I mean, so basic at the beginning, right? I'm putting some kettlebells in my mom's van. I'm showing up. We're doing a circuit today, you guys, right? Really not knowing what I'm doing in terms of running a business, but in terms of running workouts, I think the workouts have been very consistent since day one. We've been really able to see a tremendous amount of success since 2012 when I was running classes out of the back of my mom's van. And we've just been so lucky. I mean, as a business owner, I never started out running a business. It was a hobby. It was a passion. It was something that made me happy to be showing people that fitness can be fun. That's really all it started out as. And eventually, obviously it's grown into so much more. But I'm just so glad to have seen the amount of growth throughout the years. Just people wanting to be a part of something that's so much different. They definitely see and realize that through our interactions with one another. They know that it's a real and true fitness vibe that we're creating. And that's really how we've been able to maintain our success over the years. Now Proactive is as big as it's ever been, right? We're into 2020 now. I really believe the sky's the limit just in terms of the amount of people we can impact in Cambridge and the amount of people that we can reach through our various programs that we offer here. I'm just very happy. It's funny to reflect. As a business owner, you've got the blinders on, especially when you're owning and operating a business.
You're in it all the time.
You're in it every day. You've got the blinders on. Oftentimes you don't stop and think about maybe the success that the business has had. You're always looking at what's the next direction, what's the next steps here, right? But just during this conversation, I can really appreciate looking back at those humble beginnings at Proactive.
You know what? Things are going pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And just laughing at the fact, sometimes I would set up an entire class and nobody would show up. Right?
Which is no longer the case.
Never the case anymore. Right? There was no online booking software or anything. It was purely, guys, just show up. I need you to show up. We're going to work out. Totally a drop-in, nonchalant.
If nobody showed up, would you just work out on your own?
Absolutely.
Love
Yep.
it.
And I've had in the past just maybe one person show up and they're paying $5 for an hour of one-on-one personal training. But I didn't mind. I loved it. You know, I still obviously love it. But just looking back at those times, just so simple, and that's the way fitness and health should be.
Right.
Simplify what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, have some kind of routine, and you'll be so much more successful.
100%. In terms of what your vision is for Proactive, do you want to is scale something that you're looking at? And the follow-on question on that is, does scale mean, because scale is a super tricky thing in business, which perhaps you've encountered this, you can let me know, but one is like you think, oh, this can be replicated, and that would be, there'd be more success, financial success, more impact also.
Sure.
So should we just take what we have and replicate it, or is there more to be massaged and extracted and developed with what we have right now, and actually there's more value in, broadening what this actually is before we just say it's at a state that should be replicated. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like when should you decide?
There's really a give and take there, and what I've always been taught is you should really build a business as if you were going to franchise it. Put every ounce of energy you have into being able to have a business and to be able to then replicate the business.
Right.
So we're trying our best to grow Proactive around every corner. And I mean, we are not wanting to grow fast. We are big believers in bigger is not better in the fitness world. To be able to maintain genuine relationships, to be able to offer a program, again, that's accessible for everybody, it's tailored. Certain things need to happen at a set growth. So we are definitely looking at growing. We'd love to scale Proactive into a slightly larger facility, mainly because we really right now either do group training or personal training at set times. We can't do both at the same time in the space that we're currently in. Yeah. So we're definitely interested in growing into a slightly larger space that would be able to accommodate more personal training set times and more group training set times that could happen both simultaneously. That's really where I see the growth of Proactive is just moving into a slightly larger space with the community we already have.
Right.
That's really the focus, is that we don't want to lose sight of that family feel. Maybe one day we'll want to franchise or at least open a second location in a different spot.
Right.
But right now, it's just maintaining what we have already.
Yeah.
We're so grateful for every member that commits, sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week here. Really consistent members we have here. We're extremely honored to be able to have the opportunity to have that amount of people here and that interested in what we're trying to do. So I believe if we continue to put forth consistent effort, there's no reason why Proactive can't grow into a larger space.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree. That tricky thing is always that sense of community that everybody here seems to feel, and the reason they show up 7 days a week, and that family feeling. It's like, can you replicate that in a way that's still genuine, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just like,
a forced, let's just try to just redo this here. We got to just make sure it's the same.
Right, because the value is not in the space or the equipment. Anybody can throw that up.
Easily.
The value is what you bring to it, what your coaches bring to it, the ethos, why it started, how you interact with the people that are here. And so that's a bit, possibly a bit tricky, or at least something that needs to be carefully considered before you decide to, expand into other locations.
You got to be honest with yourself, John. You got to be honest about why you're doing this. Are you doing this to try to just make more money? Do you want to just try to blow up and make more money? And then now there's cracks along the way where things could really be affected in terms of the quality of the product that you're offering. We are big on form. I've mentioned this at the beginning. Form is the most important thing we have here at Proactive. We want to make sure everybody has proper form, which is the quality. And the quality of instruction, the quality of business that we want to run, we want that to trump any sort of fancy gym equipment, any sort of bigger, better location, right? So I just really am happy that we're having this conversation, first of all, because like I said, you get the you get the blinders on, and you get sucked into a whirlwind sometimes. Just to be able to reflect on everything that we're doing, it's so positive.
Yeah. Well, you can. I mean, one thing I like about doing these shows and these types of interviews is like you can always tell when somebody is super aligned with what they're doing.
Right.
You can tell if somebody's checked out of what they're doing, or if they're like, the more they talk about it, the more the corners of their mouth go up, and the more happy they are, and you see the sparkle in their eyes. And I'm getting that hugely from you. One of the last questions is, we touched on it a little bit before, but entrepreneurship is obviously difficult. Lots of unexpected things happen.
Sure is.
What was like maybe the most unexpected challenge that you encountered?
I never thought I would be a business owner. I thought I was going to be running classes out of the back of my mom's van just for forever. It felt like that at the time. It felt like this is just going to be a hobby, right? So I was never truly prepared for entrepreneurship. Nobody in my, I shouldn't say nobody, I don't know many people in my life that are entrepreneurs, let's say. I know more now than ever, but at the time, it was uncharted territory. So, I mean, you will go through ebbs and flows with business. You will be faced with a lot of different obstacles, if you will, that you'll have to navigate through. One of the biggest things we've been faced with, it's hard to say. There are so many things you face as an entrepreneur, from doing your own taxes, your own bookkeeping, to trying to find a new space to grow into. And how do leases work? How much insurance should I have to make sure that we're covered, right? How do we make sure we have the right amount of equipment, and how do we go about hiring employees?
Did you ever encounter anything that you thought you might turn back? Like maybe back to the van or back to something else would be?
Not yet. It's all been very, very positive, John, very, very positive. And it's really because of the slow but steady growth that we've had. We haven't, jumped in over our heads and been like, oh, fuck, what do we do now, right? We've never been really faced with those kind of obstacles of, should we turn back? It's never been like that. And we're really trying to prevent that from happening by just maintaining quality, right? But for anybody wanting to start their own business, again, it's as simple as running a class out of the back of your mom's van and then growing it into, a 6-7 employee business full time, 365 days a year almost, right? We only take Christmas and Boxing Day off, really, but it's what we do, as entrepreneurs. You know what it's like, John, right? In the trenches, you got to keep battling every step of the way, and if you're in it for the right reasons, there's no reason to turn back. Yeah,
I love it, man. I'm looking at the clock there. I know you got some of your tribe and some of your people coming in soon, so I'm going to let you go.
Thanks.
Last thing is, for anybody that wants to find out information about Proactive, connect with you guys on social, YouTube, check out your stuff. Is there anywhere you want to send people or a shout out or
Absolutely. Anything? So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on the web, just Proactive Training Cambridge. Even if you type in, the #1 group fitness program in Cambridge, we should pop up. Ooh. So let's put that to the test. Let's put that to the test.
So everybody, go check out Proactive Training. It's an awesome facility. Come by, have a trial, do a class.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it'll be awesome. If you want to hear anybody else on this show in Cambridge, Charlottetown, St. John's, Halifax, hit us up on social media, Facebook, email us, go to the website, and we'll try to get another amazing person like Emerson on for a chat. Emerson, thank you very much, man.
It's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.